Ah, Live Alive. It certainly is beautiful to look at, isn't it? The developers at Historia, who remade Live Alive for the Switch, have made a great HD 2D title. But make no mistake, this is no fluke. This HD 2D project was once again under the watchful eye of Square Enix producer and HD 2D enthusiast Tomoya Asano, who possesses a seemingly unending appetite for more Super Nintendo-inspired RPGs, whether it be brand new games or remakes. And sir, God bless you for that. One thing you should know about me, I love great sprite work, I love pixel art, I can't get enough of it. The Super Nintendo being your first real console will do that to you. So as a result, my appreciation for the visuals in Live Alive was constant throughout the whole game. And it hasn't ended even after finishing it. Whether it was the quiet moments, the combat, or anything in between, Live Alive and Tomoya Asano's development team have again raised my expectations for what the HD 2D genre is capable of when it comes to great visuals. I'm also kind of glad that Live Alive never made it to North American shores back in the day when it was first supposed to, simply because playing a Super Nintendo game remade in the HD 2D style was both new and nostalgic all at once. Live Alive has much more going for it than just the nice HD 2D coding. Its unique game design and intriguing narrative make it worth diving into. Live Alive's approach to storytelling, with its 8 different chapters that all have their own specific protagonists, settings, and gameplay mechanics, made the journey one of the more memorable ones I've taken with a JRPG. I'm sure some of you know what I mean when I say some JRPG stories out there are so bland and cliche that you forget about them almost as soon as you're done finished playing them. Live Alive, however, will not be one of those games for me. The diversity of each chapter in Live Alive made it much more memorable, and it was the best part of the game for me. Getting to go to these different settings and time periods with their new characters and varied gameplay subsystems like reading minds in the near future or setting traps in the Wild West helped keep the game fresh and curb the chances of it becoming dull. Some chapters were short, some were long, but what matters most is that no matter the length of the chapter, I enjoyed my time with it. And when it came time to say goodbye, I was always ready because it meant something new and exciting was headed my way. And while a lot is different from chapter to chapter, Live Alive, of course, had some through lines when it came to gameplay. And one relative constant throughout the chapters was the core battle system. I don't know if Live Alive's battle system will convert anybody, but it does have some interesting quirks. Instead of being locked in a fixed position, like a lot of turn-based battle systems, your characters are positioned on a grid and able to move around. And it's enjoyable. It's fun moving everyone around, trying to get them into the right attack range while minding the enemy's position too. And something I found kind of refreshing was that there was no mystery to what attacks work on an enemy, because as soon as the battle starts, their strengths and weaknesses are on full display. It was kind of nice to know exactly what would and would not work on an enemy right as the fight starts. I found most of Live Alive's battles incredibly easy anyway, so this just helped streamline the battles a little bit more. And this is one of those titles where my enjoyment was not dampened by the fact I found it easy. The battle system was still fun, and I actually found it to be pretty damn great. But for me, that's because it had great sprite work once again, and it had really good music too. Great music to go with every chapter, in fact. And that really elevated the battle system into something special for me. Something else that makes Live Alive really special is the amount of homage it pays to pop culture. It made Live Alive a JRPG smorgasbord of different genres to enjoy. The Wild West chapter, with its obvious nods to Western classics such as The Magnificent Seven and The Man with No Name, made me grin in recognition. And the far future chapter was parts 2001: A Space Odyssey with a smattering of Alien for good measure, which was good because it was the most narrative heavy and gameplay light chapter in the whole game, so it needed an interesting story. Other chapters all had their object of affection too, by paying homage to either fighting games, classic manga, giant robots, or traditional JRPGs. And having said all this, I don't really know what the prehistory chapter was paying homage to, but it doesn't matter. With its zero dialogue, physical comedy, and toilet humor, it still ended up being one of my favorites and was a great first chapter pick. I admire Live Alive for trying to be a different type of JRPG, and I'm glad I got to play it as an adult. I feel like I wouldn't have appreciated it as a kid, and it would have been lost on a younger me, most specifically with its departure from the classic JRPG structure. And because that didn't happen, I was able to go into it with open eyes, which allowed me to appreciate all the other things that made it great. Plus now, I get to think about what other Super Nintendo RPGs are going to be remade in this style. Is it going to be another Japan-only RPG that never made it to North America like Live Alive was? Or is it going to be one of the classics from our childhood? Some interesting food for thought. So as always, everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you have thoughts about Live Alive, if you played it, please let me know in the comments. And as always, please like and please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed your game break. Take it easy.